Okese1's biggest mistake led to his downfall. From riding in Range Rovers and Benz to now owning a 2014 Mustang isn't an upgrade, but instead a big-time downgrade. The situation around Okese1 right now is not just about a car, and anybody who thinks it is only about a Mustang is missing the whole picture. In Ghana, when the noise around your name reduces, the streets don't wait for bank statements. They judge you by movement, access, and visibility. Once those three start shrinking at the same time, the verdict is always the same. They say you've gone broke. Whether it is 100% true or not, perception becomes your new reality. And in this industry, perception can kill faster than truth. Okese1 didn't come into the scene weak. The hunger was loud, the energy was raw, and the ambition was obvious. From the early days, it was clear this was somebody who wanted to escape struggle completely and shock everybody who ever doubted him. The streets connected to that story because everybody in Ghana understands the pressure of coming from nothing. When the small money started coming in, everything changed fast. The dressing changed, the movement changed, the circle expanded, and the expectations multiplied immediately. When money touches your hand in Ghana, especially when you are young and trending, pressure doesn't increase slowly. It jumps instantly. Friends become dependents overnight. Family members suddenly develop emergencies every week. Old classmates you haven't seen in years remember your phone number. Everybody wants help. Everybody wants to belong. Everybody wants a share of the shine. And because you don't want to be seen as wicked or proud, you keep helping. You spend, you give, you support, and you don't even notice that your pocket is bleeding slowly. By the time you realize it, the lifestyle you've built is now bigger than the income that created it. The Ghana entertainment industry is brutal in silence. When things are working, it feels like you'll never fall. DJs play your songs without you begging. Promoters call without delays. Bloggers post you without charging. People greet you with excitement. But the moment momentum slows down, nobody announces it publicly. They just stop calling. Your song starts missing rotation. Your name starts appearing smaller on flyers. Your fee gets questioned. Your brand suddenly becomes difficult to place. No beef, no fight, just quiet rejection. That silence is where many careers suffocate. Once the calls reduce, panic starts quietly inside. You still dress well outside. You still post online. You still show confidence in public. But inside, the mind is racing. You start borrowing quietly. You start postponing payments. You start dodging certain phone numbers. Ego is fighting reality, and reality is always stronger in the end. Many people collapse at that stage, not because money finished completely, but because pride refuses to accept adjustment. The street talk about the Mustang is not really about the vehicle itself. A 2014 Mustang is still a solid ride anywhere in the world. But in Ghana's showbiz culture, cars are not measured by engineering or durability. They are measured by status signaling. When your car movement changes, the streets interpret it as your money movement changing too. Whether that conclusion is fair or not, the judgment is already made in people's minds. Another painful truth most fans don't understand is that hype does not equal cash. You can trend heavily and still be struggling financially. Streams alone don't secure your future. Visibility doesn't automatically mean stability. Many platforms use you for traffic and discard you once the algorithm shifts. If your backend is weak, your run can look loud outside while your pocket is empty inside. That is how many stars quietly die broke without ever announcing it. There is also the politics nobody likes to talk about. In Ghana, entertainment is not just about talent. It is about alliances, camps, gatekeepers, radio power, event organizers, label connections. Once you offend the wrong people or fall out of key circles, your movement can slow down without a single public explanation. You won't be officially blacklisted. You'll just be ignored. And in this industry, being ignored is a death sentence. Lifestyle has destroyed more Ghanaian careers than lack of talent ever did. Clubbing every weekend, spraying cash for vibes, buying drinks for everybody, dressing to impress strangers, chasing image instead of assets. Once your identity becomes tied to loud spending, you lose control of your future. You become a slave to public expectation. The day you reduce, mockery replaces applause. What hurts the most is that many of these collapses are not caused by wicked people. They are caused by poor structure. No accounting, no financial discipline, no long-term planning, no serious investments. Just vibes, generosity, pressure, and blind confidence that the run will last forever. But the truth is simple. Every wave crashes, every trend expires, every hype cools. The smart ones prepare for the cold season while the sun is still burning. The emotional ones spend like tomorrow is guaranteed. The hood itself also destroys many rising stars. Once you rise, your people expect constant support. If you slow down, you become ungrateful. If you continue, you drain yourself. Some guys would rather go broke helping everybody than be labeled wicked. The streets can love you into poverty without even knowing it. Right now, whether Okese1 is truly broke, rebuilding, resetting, or just choosing a quieter life, one reality cannot be denied. The noise around his movement is no longer what it used to be. And in Ghana's entertainment ecosystem, silence is the loudest warning sign. When the noise drops, the vultures start counting. This is not just about one person. It is a lesson for every young man chasing fast money and fast fame. Money without structure is noise. Fame without savings is a trap. Hype without assets is slow suicide. If you don't build when nobody's watching, the day the crowd disappears, you'll have nothing left to stand on. The industry does not destroy people with sickness. It destroys people with reality. And reality does not care how popular you once were. You see, the most painful part of all this is not even the money itself. It is the mental battle that comes with watching everything you once controlled slowly slip through your fingers while the world is still watching you like you're supposed to be untouchable. The pressure to maintain an image when your reality is changing is enough to break a strong man. In Ghana, people don't allow you to heal quietly. They monitor your life like a live scoreboard. One wrong move, one downgrade, one quiet season, and the verdict is delivered without mercy. Many people don't understand that once you become a public figure in this country, privacy dies completely. Even your breathing becomes news. If you reduce your movement, people say you're finished. If you move quietly, they say you're hiding. If you speak too much, they say you're lying. If you keep quiet, they say you're ashamed. There is no middle ground. Behind the scenes, this is how many of these stories really play out. When the big shows stop coming consistently, the small ones feel insulting to your ego. You start rejecting bookings you would have gladly taken years ago. You tell yourself you're protecting the brand, but deep down, it's pride doing the talking. Meanwhile, your bills don't understand brand protection. Rent doesn't wait for comeback. Life doesn't pause because your boss has reduced. Then the debt phase quietly begins. Borrowing here and there, advancing future bookings that never materialize, taking support you once never needed, borrowing from people who now feel powerful because your situation has shifted. That stage alone humbles grown men into silence. At that point, you stop moving freely. You scan your surroundings before every outing. You calculate who might see you. You choose which calls to pick. That is when you realize that money is not just for comfort, it is for freedom. Another dangerous angle the public rarely sees is how some people around you begin to switch roles once they sense weakness. The same people who used to beg for access start feeling like bosses. The same ones who used to praise your generosity start reminding you of every favor they once did for you. Power shifts quietly, and you feel it in the way people talk to you. Brand deals don't just disappear because a brand hates you. They disappear because brands are allergic to instability. Once your consistency drops, once your public image becomes shaky, once your name starts getting attached to "he's no longer hot," your commercial value drops instantly. Brands don't invest in nostalgia. They invest in momentum. The Ghanaian crowd is also very unforgiving with comparison. The moment your pace reduces, they will line you up with your peers and start measuring you against their current runs. They'll say, this one has bought a new car, that one has gone international, this one just signed a big deal. Your own silence becomes louder in that comparison. You start living inside a competition you never agreed to participate in. There is also the emotional damage of watching people you once helped disappear when you actually need them. That part breaks people quietly. The calls you once answered at midnight are now ignored. The favors you once gave freely are now forgotten. That's when many people understand that loyalty in the industry is seasonal, not permanent. Some people don't survive that season mentally. Depression creeps in. Alcohol becomes an escape. Fake happiness becomes a shield. Public smiles hide private storms. You start questioning every decision you ever made. You replay the past in your head and wonder where exactly things turned. Regret becomes heavy when it has enough time to speak. And yet, the public still expects you to act strong. They don't care about the psychology behind collapse. They only care about entertainment. When you fall, they turn your pain into content. When you react, they turn it into memes. When you keep quiet, they turn it into confirmation. This is why many people stay stuck in denial for too long. They refuse to downscale early because they're afraid of mockery. But the longer you delay adjustment, the harder the crash becomes. Quiet adjustment saves lives. Loud pride destroys them. What most young people watching these stories fail to understand is that real wealth is boring. It is quiet. It doesn't scream every weekend. It doesn't need constant validation. It grows in places where nobody is clapping. The flashy life only looks sweet until the bill comes without warning. Whether Okese1 is rebuilding, recovering, resetting, or struggling silently, one thing is certain. His story is not unique. It is repeating itself across Ghana every year with different faces and different names. New stars rise. Old ones disappear quietly. The cycle never stops because the lessons are rarely learned. The industry will never slow down for anyone. If you can't keep up, it moves on without apology. That is the harsh truth. No farewell concert, no closure, just replacement. And that is why every young man chasing hype must understand this now, not later. You don't secure your future when your life becomes hard. You secure it when your life is sweet. The season of enjoyment is the same season of planting. If you eat all your seed during harvest, hunger will be your next award. This life does not destroy people with poverty first. It destroys them with carelessness during abundance. Once abundance leaves, everything it was covering becomes visible. That is when the real damage is revealed. So when you see a situation like this and you laugh, remember that tomorrow does not choose victims based on popularity. It chooses based on preparation. If you're not building silently while the crowd is cheering, one day the same crowd will be watching you struggle like a movie. And when that day comes, the streets will not ask how hard you tried. They will only ask one question: what did you do with your season?